Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amirah Zainina Binte Anuar. We from group the number 5. We want to present about John Holland typology theory. Okay, what is the objective of John Holland typology? Firstly, the real objective of Holland theory is to help people make their own career decision based on environment, to allow them to express their interests, skills, attitudes, and values, and take on institute and behavioral rules and work environment. Now, second is Holland emphasized that people who choose to work in environments similar to their personality type are more likely to be successful and satisfied. This idea is important as it shows Holland theory can be flexible, incorporating combination type. Okay, and thirdly, Holland theory take a problem-solving and cognitive approach to career planning to its formula assessment tools such as self-directed search, vocational equivalent inventory, and the strong Indian inventories, and that has been very influential in career counseling.
Hello, my name is Intan Izzati. Today I would like to talk about history of Holland theory. Okay, first of all, Holland theory are remarkable for having extended others' idea and it's translate them into form that accessible for counselor and client. Other than that, influences of Holland's academic training and work experience can be seen in this theory, in his theory and instrument, and it also help account for their user friendliness and impact. There are many ideas that are central to Holland theory result from his graduate training and from frustration he experienced when providing career counseling services. Holland's first idea occurred to Holland when he was serving in the army as a classification interviewer. Later then, Holland enrolled in the University of Minnesota, which there Holland graduate program to study counseling psychology. While there, Holland research focuses on the ability of artist scores in the Minnesota multifaceted personality inventory. So the MMPI is also to predict others' rating of their artistic work. At University of Minnesota, Holland also studied under John Darley, who is exposed him to research on interest. So he also spent for 4 years in vocational counseling practical. Along 4 years in counseling practical, Holland concluded that personality is linked with important individual difference construct, and once he had been exposed to vocational assessment, it was then not a stretch for the idea to emerge that personality and vocational interests are closely intertwined. After graduate school, Holland provided vocational counseling at Western Reserve University and at the Perry Point MD Veterans Administration Hospital. So that is the first place he experienced that lead to some frustration because of although existing inventory such as strong vocational interest blank and career preference record, but Holland noticed that there were limits to their practical utility. So after all this work experience and frustration, it's from Holland eagerness to find a way to make interest assessment that more user friendly and more accessible for client and counselor. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, we go one by one, which is firstly real estate. Okay, we can description of interest area for real estate. Okay, real estate is the people likes to work mainly with hand, making fixing, assembly or building thing using hand operating equipment, tool or machine, and often like to work outdoor. Okay, what is the skill? The key skill, what is needed for real estate? Okay, firstly, using an operating tool, equipment and machinery, designing, building, repairing, maintaining, working manually, measuring, working in detail, driving, moving, caring for animal, and working with plants. Okay, what is the sun occupation with realistic component? Okay, which is many, so many. Okay, which is pilot, farmer, horticulturalist, builder, engineer, armed services personnel, mechanic, upholsterer, electrician, computer technology, park ranger, and sports person. Okay, each we have a personality realistic subject you could study to give improve your skill is English, math, science, workshop, technology computing, business study, agriculture, horticulture, and physical education. Okay, secondly is investigative. Okay, what is description of interest area of investigative? Firstly, investigative is like to discover and research idea, observe, investigate, and experiment, ask question, and solve problem. Okay, what are some skills needed for investigative? Firstly, you must thinking analytically and logically, computing, communicating, by writing and speaking, designing, formulating, calculating, diagnosis, experimenting, and investigating. Okay, start occupation with investigate component, which is science, research, medical, and head occupation, chemist, marine scientist, forestry technician, medical of agriculture laboratory technician, zoologist, dentist, and doctor. Okay, you can just focus when you like to, when your personality is investigative, you can just a little subject you could study to give you to the skill, okay, such as English, math, science, and computing and technology. Okay, thirdly is artistic. Okay, artistic is what is description of interest area of artistic. Okay, usually artistic is like to use words, art, music, or drama to communicate, perform, or express themselves, create and design things. Okay, some key skill which is for artistic is which is expressing artistically or physically, speaking, writing, singing, performing, designing, presenting, also planning and composing, playing, and lastly dancing. What is the sun occupation with artistic component is artist, illustrator, photographer, songwriter, composer, singer, instrument player, dancer, actor, reporter, writer, editor, advertiser, hairdresser, and fashion designer. Okay, what is subject you could study to give you to the skill of artistic? Okay, you can study English, social study, music, drama, art, graphic, design, computing, business study, and language. Okay, what is the four is social. Okay, what is description of interest area for social? Okay, social is like to work with people to teach, train, and inform, help, treat, heal, and cure, serve and greet, concern for the well-being and welfare for others. Okay, what is some key skill? Okay, which is key skill which is needed for social? We must communicating orally or in writing, caring and supporting, training, meeting, greeting, assisting, teaching, informing, interviewing, and coaching. What is some occupation with social component, which is teacher, nurse, nurse aide, counselor, police officer, social worker, salesperson, customer service officer, waiter, and secretary. Okay, um, we have study in counseling program, so we must related lah our personality with social. Okay, so we must improve our skills like this. Okay, and we also must learn about the subject yang could give you study to improve the skill. Okay, what is English, social study, math, science, health, physical education, art, computing, business study, and language. Each is depend on your course. Okay, actually the fifth is about enterprising. Okay, what is description of interest area of enterprising? Okay, enterprising is like meeting with people, leading, talking to, and influencing others and encouraging others to working in business. What is some key skill in enterprising is which is we can selling, promoting, and persuading, developing ideas, public speaking, managing, organizing, and leading and captaining, competing, and lastly planning. Okay, what is some occupation which is suitable for enterprising? Which is salesperson, lawyer, political, accountant, business owner, executive manager, travel agent, music or sport promoter. Subject you could study to give you skill may be English, math, business study, accounting, economy, social study, drama, computing, text information, management, and language. Okay, lastly, which is conventional. What is description of interest of area of occupational? Occupational is like working indoors and at tasks that involve organizing and be accurate following procedure, working with data or number, planning work and event. What is some key skill for conventional? Okay, we can computing and keyboarding, recording and keeping records, paying attention to detail, meeting and greeting, doing calculation, handling money, organizing, arranging, and working independently. Okay, what is an occupation with competence? Okay, which is can be secretary, receptionist, office worker, librarian, bank clerk, computer operator, store, and dispatch clerk. Okay, subject you could study to give you to the skill which is English, maths, business study, accounting, economy, computing, tax information, and management.
Okay, thank you Amirah for the explanation about Riasek. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Azimah Binti Abdullah, metric number 11801006. So right now, I want to explain about the main concept of Holland'S theory. Okay, there is 5 key concept of Holland'S theory, which is the first one is consistency, second differentiation, third identity, fourth congruence, and fifth calculus. So I explain one by one. Okay, first consistency. Consistency refers to the assumption that adjacent of type on the hexagon model that are most related and accordingly most consistent or have compatible interests, personal disposition, or job duties. So, according to Holland, the higher degrees of consistency within personality type can make the person easier to make career decision and maintain career achievement and also satisfaction. Okay, for example, the client who has been tested show social and artistic as their two highest codes that are considered to be more consistent than if they have been tested to social and realistic as their two highest codes. The second is differentiation. Okay, differentiation is simply refers to the shape of the profile of a person's interest. If a person takes an interest inventory and he or she plot the scores, differentiation simply refers to the shape of the profile. Basically, differentiation addresses a person's purity of type, whether the person clearly resembles one or perhaps two types, but clearly does not resemble to the other type. Then the third is identity. Okay, identity can be described as the individuals who have clear and stable picture of their goals, interests, and talents. Degrees of identity is more highly related to the concept of consistency and differentiation. Next, the fourth is congruence. Congruence refers to the degree of match between one's type and the type of the work environment that he or she ultimately choose. For example, a person who measures artistic as their highest types would be most congruent in an environment that incorporates artistic activities and also allows for artistic expression that will attract their artistic people. The last one is calculus. Okay, calculus provides the spatial foundation for the hexagonal models in that it refers to the degree of relatedness of all the types based on the distances between them on the hexagon. From calculus, one can more clearly understand the following assumption of the theory as they apply to both people and environments. So now, I want to explain about evaluation tools. So for John Holland's typology, Holland has introduced three types of assessment. Okay, first is SDS, self-directed search. Second, MVS, my vocational situation. And the last one is VPI, vocational preference inventory. So for the self-directed search SDS assessment, the SDS is the most widely used career interest inventory that have been helped more than 14 billion people with career planning decisions. The SDS is an easy-to-use, self-administered test that help individuals find the occupation that best suit with their interests and skills. The SDS requiring 35 until 45 minutes to complete. Respondents answer questions about their aspiration, activities, competency, occupation, and self-estimates, and then total their scores. The SDS is suitable for people that are still at the early stage of career exploration. Other than that, it is also best for the individuals who are interested to learn more about how various careers align with their personality types, and it's also give people self-interpretation to choose what the best for them. Secondly is the MVS assessment, my vocational situation. The MVS scale is a self-report screening tool developed for use with high school college and adult career counseling clients. After a 10 minutes administration time, it provides information on clients' vocational identity status, knowledge of career information, and applicable career barriers. So the MVS have three scale, which is the results can be used to determine if a client's identity in the career development process stems from low vocational identity, a lack of appropriate information, multiple barriers to his or her goals, or a combination of these issues. The three skills are the vocational identity sub-skills, the occupation information sub-skills, and barrier sub-skills. It is also can inform the interventions that a career counselor may use with a client. The scores are based on the sum of all false and no answers. Therefore, higher scores on this measure are positive, indicating more stable vocational identity. And the last one is VPI assessment, vocational preference inventory. The item content of the VPI consists of 160 occupational titles. Respondents choose either like or dislike to each of the occupations. So the purpose of this inventory is fourfold. First, it can be used as a brief assessment of personality with high school and college students as well as employed adults. Second, it is also can be a useful complement to other personality assessment instruments. Third, it provides a mean of assessing a vocational interest. And the last one is it can also be used to assess the vocational behavior in the context of Holland's theory. So I think that's all from me. I'll give to the next presenter.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Salsabila Binti Mamauod. Okay, today I would like to talk about example of theory application in career counselling. Application of Holland's theory in college setting. So we would like to focus on this application in college settings. Okay, first, education is a nurturing profession and the task, especially as teachers and counsellors, is to assist students in their efforts to be successful throughout their college experiences. In so doing, the typical advice given students is to select academic majors. For example, environments that are congruent with their personality types. Okay, second, the strategy is simple and straightforward given the exemplary instruments developed by John Holland and the college to assess students' personality and academic environments type simply. Okay, one, assess students' personality types using established instrument as the SDS or stands for self-directed search or the VPI, vocational preference inventory. Second, look up academic measures that are similar to the students' personality types using search reputable references as the Dictionary of Holland Occupational Codes or the Educational Opportunities Finder. Third, advise students to select academic measures that are congruent with their personality types. Okay, we move to another slide. It's about how can counsellor use Holland codes to choose the right career. Okay, for example, the Vocational Preference Inventory VPI was developed by John Holland and is used by counselling professions to assess career interest in one-on-one counselling sessions with either students or adults. The VPI consists of a list of 160 occupations. Users rate whether or not each occupation interests or appeals to them. It takes about 15 to 30 minutes to complete the testing. Scores on each scale may range from 0 to 14. Similar to SDS, stand for self-directed search, the three highest scores in order become the three-letter Holland code of personality types. Okay, we have to know about the Holland code. Okay, a Holland code is a three-letter code that is made up of an individual's 3 dominant personality types out of 6 possible choices. Realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. Do you remember that we have learned in our class with Dr. Rashid is about 5 concepts of the John Holland theory: consistency, differentiation, identity, congruence, and calculus. So, saya lebih tekankan kepada congruence lah, iaitu keselarasan. Apa yang dimaksudkan tentang keselarasan iaitu hubungan antara personality dengan persekitaran. Jadi persamaan yang semakin hampir antara personality dengan persekitaran ni akan menjadikan ia ni lebih selaras, lebih congruence lah. Sebagai contohnya, orang yang investigatif akan lebih congruence ataupun lebih cenderung ke arah persekitaran investigatif. Seseorang yang selain daripada itu, seseorang yang cenderung kepada bidang investigatif tetapi bekerja dalam persekitaran artistik ni akan menyebabkan seseorang tu atau keadaan dia tu menjadi lebih tidak selaras lah, tidak congruence. Jadi kita menggunakan kod 3 mata Holland ni, personality C ni, social, enterprising, yang artistik ni akan menjadi lebih selaras lah, lebih congruence dengan persekitaran, social, enterprising, dan artistik lah, dan kurang selaras. Kurang selaras ni kurang congruence lah dengan persekitaran SRC, social, realistic dengan conventional. Jadi kalau kita dapat huraikan tentang kod 3 mata Holland ni, huruf yang pertama. Huruf pertama dalam kod ketiga mata Holland ni menerangkan jenis personality yang paling dominan serta bidang umum atau kita panggil bidang major lah yang sesuai dengan label jenis personality tersebut. Jadi huruf yang kedua dan ketiga pula akan menerangkan tentang aspek-aspek yang terlebih khusus dalam bidang umum tersebut, iaitu bidang minor lah. Jadi tegasnya pola personality ni seseorang individu yang dinyatakan dalam bentuk kod 3 mata Holland ni dapat meramalkanlah pelakuan vocationalnya dengan lebih teliti.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurhidayah Binti Norhalim, and today I'll be talking to you about the advantages and limitations of the John Holland's typology theory. So first of all, the theory provides a parallel way of describing people and environment. So a parallel way means it's like this. Parallel means opposite of each other, but very similar or exactly the same in a sense. So this theory describes the personalities and work environment being very similar to each other, so they are very compatible with each other. So the next one is the theory provides people with suggestive careers that suit their dominant personalities. So this theory gives a very simple outline to understand. So a certain type of personality is suitable for these type of work environments or these type of careers. So it is very simple to choose your careers based on your dominant personality type. And this theory especially is very suitable for people who don't really know what type of careers to pursue in the future. So the last one is the theory is consistent. So the theory does not change over time. So it is exactly the same. So this theory is also considered reliable because it does not change much from the past until now. So the next one is the limitations of this theory. So this theory does not apply on all cultures. So it may be suitable for Americans and Europeans, however, it does not really apply, or it's not really applicable for all the cultures worldwide, because for example in India, the job satisfaction of those applying this technique is not really high compared to Americans and Europeans. So they are not really satisfied with the jobs that were suggested to them. The next one is the theory relies heavily on the practitioner and the technique itself. So the counselor is heavily relied on during a career counseling session, especially for this area. So all the client needs to do is fill up an inventory, answer some questions and questionnaires, and the counselor will come up with a set of suggestive careers based on the client's dominant personality. So this makes the client very passive during the session, just receiving the results from the practitioner and not really giving their thoughts and opinions on it. So the next one is Bluestein states that trade and factor theorists such as Holland tends to focus on well-educated and privileged workers. So this statement in a way is partly true because Holland does focus on well-educated and privileged workers when working on this theory. However, there are research rebutting this statement because the research compares privileged workers and unprivileged workers applying this technique, and the difference is not really far off. So there's not much of a difference in the job satisfaction for the privileged workers and the unprivileged workers.
Conclusion, Dr. John Holland theory is based on pupil and work environment. Different pupils' personality may find different environments more to their likes. The codes referred in the model are called as Holland code. It is developed by John Holland's. The inventory is referred as a Riasat skill. Each letter stands for a particular personality type, which are realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. Besides that, this tool can be administered as a psychometric tool to assess and evaluate the career choice, especially for the management graduates. The tool refers to personal characteristic and occupational knowledge because the choice of a vocation is an expression of personality. So it is very important to us being known about our personality and environment, which can help us to catapult the success of a job seeker and a student.